Good morning, everybody. This is our February monthly safety meeting. We're going to go over various subjects today. I have several in the safety department I want to go over this month and bring to everybody's attention. The first thing I'm going to go over today is coupling and uncoupling. Drivers are responsible to ensure that when coupling up to a trailer, two things must happen. One, to ensure that the trailer is not too high. Two, to ensure that the trailer is not too low. We have had a few situations where drivers were backing up to the trailer and the fifth wheel ended up going through the header board of the trailer, and that we just can't have that. You guys got to take the time to get out to ensure that the trailer is not too low, and not too high. We've had some fifth wheels that have been jumped and the trailers hitting the back of the tractors, and we need to try to bring those type of incidences to an end. We also have had drivers that are missing the kingpin altogether, and the handle is getting caught on the kingpin and causing the fifth wheel. A fifth wheel repair can be anywhere between $900 and above. So we want to bring these costs down. They're unnecessary expenses to the company and can be avoided if individuals just take the time to look before coupling up underneath of a trailer. The second thing that I want to talk about is sliding the trailer tandems. I have had several video footages this month in the last few months of possible near collisions. And it's caused by the tandems. When a driver hits the brakes, they slide to the rear. So the camera goes off and I get an email of a possible collision. I review the video, and that's exactly what it is. The tandems are not locked in place. The driver hits the brakes and they slide to the rear, causing a simulation of an accident. And we just need to put a stop to that as well. That's just not ensuring that they're locked in. We have a lot of drivers that do drop in hooks. Don't take for granted that the driver before you, when he dropped that trailer, he locked the pins in place. If you pull a trailer out of a door, make sure the pins are in place before you leave the property. If you slide tandems, always ensure that they're locked in place before you depart. Even if you have to go one more hole and you do a tug and you think, well, it's locked in place, don't take for granted it's locked in place. Get out one more time, look at the pins, and make sure they're locked in place. Also, again, it's your responsibility to ensure that the tires are rolling. Every one of the tires on that trailer needs to be rolling. So just because one side is rolling doesn't mean the other side is. So make sure that they're all rolling. Another issue that we're going to discuss is cell phone distraction. We've had some accidents in 2019 that cell phone distraction was partially responsible. Everybody knows what the law is concerning the DOT and using your cell phone in your hand. You're not able to do so. It's a large fine to the driver as well as the company, and it affects our CSA score as well as you, the driver. So if you're using your cell phone as a means for navigation, as a lot of us have, get a dash mount. Put the phone on the dash. It's safer that way. So when the camera goes off and we're looking for various things, I don't want to see you holding a cell phone. I have enough footage of drivers holding it in their hand, and we just need to put a stop to that as well. No one is saying that you cannot have a headset on, but if you have a headset on, still pay attention to your surroundings. Don't get distracted by a conversation that you're having on your phone. Next thing I'm going to go over is 2019 accidents. We have had several accidents in 2019. I can't memorize them all because there's so many, so I'm going to read them off of a piece of paper that I have. First one, we've had 43 back-in accidents. Now, a lot of drivers that come here to JIT-EX, when we interview them, you're supposed to have 2 years of experience when you get hired on with us, which means that you have some experience. We have some seasoned drivers that are working here. So there's no excuse for some of these back-in accidents. Either the driver's just just going way too fast or not wanting to get out of the truck. It doesn't make you less of a person if you have to get out of the truck. I don't care how many times I got to get out of the truck. I'd rather do that than hit something. All right, so they can be avoided. Just take your time. We've had 3 rollaway accidents due to brakes not being set. It's almost common sense. Anytime you get out of the truck, always ensure that the brakes are set. Even if you're driving an automatic, always ensure that the brakes are locked. Lane change in accidents we've had 1 or 2. All right, make sure that you pay attention to your mirrors. All right, use your hood spotter mirror to help you with your blind spots. Do the rock and roll method, moving up, going side to side, look around your blind spots. Really pay attention to the traffic that's coming behind you, because some cars, they'll race up on you before you know it. So make sure you look 3 times before you change lanes. Let that blinker blink 3 times before you change lanes. I'd rather you be safe than sorry. We've had 1 rollover accident from a driver taking a curve way too fast. The load shifted and he went over on the side. We've had 7 turning accidents, 1 low clearances. These are all things that can be avoided if the driver just takes their time and pays attention to surroundings and pay attention to signs. 4 rollbacks. We have a lot of trucks that are standard. When you're on a hill or slight incline, maintain pressure on that clutch so it doesn't roll backwards. That's like basic training when you first got your CDL, to avoid a rollback. Keep some pressure on that clutch so you don't roll back when you start off. Driver rolling back to hit the cars, we just need to stop that. On top of those, we've had 130 miscellaneous accidents, claims from hitting fixed objects, damaged tires, broke doors, damaged property, and damage to the trucks, etc. A lot of the accidents in those 130 were all due to drivers either being in a rush or just not paying attention. It's unnecessary cost to the company and revenue. Again, we're a company that's growing. We want to take care of our drivers. Drivers are asking for certain benefits and pay raises. It's hard to go and do those things if we're consistently spending money on these types of accidents. Plus, it raises our insurance for the company as a whole. JIT-EX hires experienced drivers. Some of you, supposedly had quite a bit of time. We wouldn't expect you to do some of these mistakes. So we need you to stop and just take your time and look before you back, turn, merge lanes. Just take your time and use your mirrors. Last thing that I want to go over today are logs. We have a wide variety of drivers here at JIT-EX, ranging from generations, from drivers that are seasoned to drivers who are 2 years, barely 2 years. Then we have some middle of the road drivers. So we have a wide range of generational drivers here at JIT-EX. Anybody who's been driving for a decade or 2, or whatever the case may be, knows that the transportation industry has changed so much every decade. Everything has gradually changed. One thing that hasn't changed are logs. Logs as in who's responsible for doing the logs. You, the driver, are responsible to do your logs, maintain your logs, ensure that they're current, ensure that they are legal. It's not the responsibility of a driver manager or anybody that's in the office to do your logs. Those are yours. When we were doing paper logs inside of a truck, that was me filling out my paper log. That was me signing it, making sure it was correct. I was held responsible by DOT when they weren't correct. So nothing has changed except for the fact that it has gotten easier. In the old days, on paper, you had to round to the nearest quarter. Today, in the digitalized world, they're on the computer, it's to the nearest minute. It maximizes your time. It makes it easier. You don't have to draw lines and use rulers. You just push a button. The computer does drawing for you. Most systems have pictures. So if you have a hard time figuring out what you need to do, you can also look at a picture on the screen. Also, there's other ways to stay on top of your log. You have the ability to get on your smartphone, which majority of our drivers have. And you can get on there and you can review, edit, and certify your logs if you're having problems navigating on the device. You can also get on your computer at home while you're sitting on your comfortable couch, watching TV, don't have much to do. You can get on your laptop or your computer and you can just look at your logs and see where you are. You can monitor your hours. You can see how many hours you got left to work for the week. All those things are so much easier today than they were back in the day a few decades ago. You didn't have a smartphone, you had an atlas. You didn't have a cell phone at all. You had to go to a payphone. You had to get a calling card so you can call your dispatcher. You can call the shipper, the receiver. So when you're trying to get into a shipper or receiver, use your smartphone, navigate the area, how to get into the area, which is the best entrance to get into to get lined up for the doors. Plan your route ahead of time. All these things are the driver's responsibility. It's also a DOT law or rule, however you want to look at it. If you have logs that are more than 13 days old and uncertified, technically you're not supposed to be able to work. So you must stay on top of your logs. There's also a deal in the PeopleNet program that we are addressing when there's a detection made, a data detection or malfunction, it throws it into a driving status. If you make a mistake and you fail to log out, it's going to give a driving status and you're going to be on duty and it's automatically going to assign it to you. It's not going to show up as an unidentified driving event because you're still on duty. We can assist you if you can't figure out how to change your on duty time, but we can't change a driving event. Once it's there, it's there. So it's imperative that you log out of the truck. And then you can also check that with your cell phone. Especially in the sleeper trucks. If you come in overnight, you come in for a weekend, it's imperative you log completely out of the truck. So there's no mistakes concerning your log. If you have any concerns, your log, and you need assistance, call your driver manager first. If you can't get anything figured out, they are trained on to assist you with your logs. If they are unable to answer the question, then they'll reach out to myself or Alex to assist you. Plus, I'm training a couple other people on PeopleNet to assist with logs. Also, you need to program in your phone. One last thing concerning logs is the technical support number to PeopleNet. If you find yourself in the computer having problems, it won't reboot, it's having technical problems that we cannot solve in the office, you can put in your cell phone number, 888-346-3486. That will take you to PeopleNet technical support, and the employee company ID is 5489, which they will ask for. That's all I have on the safety side. I'm going to pass it over to Mr. Ben.
All right. So we're 2 months into 2020 here. It's our third meeting like this. We're going to continue these going forward. I want to piggyback on accidents real quick on him. If you added all those numbers he set up, that's 204 accidents. Now, I took all of the ones out that were not our fault. Like, we didn't get blamed for them. We didn't cost us any money. I took those out. So this is 204 claims that actually we had to pay something for. Like I said, it's everything from a toe out of the mud to a damaged tire to an actual physical accident to a backing accident. We have to control that cost. We have that deterrent built into our policy to charge back up to $500 for any of these claims. But, most of these claims, just like he said, damaging a fifth wheel is usually $1,000. That's just someone that didn't look how they were backing, come back around, caught the kingpin on the handle or high hooked it and came back out and caught the kingpin because they missed the kingpin, ripped the guts out of the fifth wheel, and now you're $1,000 plus labor. So that $500 is, it's not really effective in recouping that revenue, and we don't really want that money. What we want is people to stop having accidents. And we figured if, you know, you had to pay $500 out of your pocket because you're liable for being careless, that would be a pretty big deterrent. But, you know, last year we still had a lot of them. So I want to make sure everyone understands, you know, what that is. Slow down, be careful. I want you to be efficient. I want you to get in, get off the yard, get your pickups, get moving, get empty, get moving again. But I don't want you being careless. All right. So I do want you to make sure you're safe and you take your time. You know, one accident can wipe out a month's worth of work. You know, so keep that in mind. Only a few things I want to cover is dress code. You know, we really started addressing this last year, making sure everyone was on the same page. But I just want to finalize it, so there's no doubts, everyone understands. All JIT-EX drivers should be wearing the blue JIT-EX collared shirt to work every day. Now, if you are on duty for JIT-EX, right, you need to have that blue collar shirt on. So if you're in a JIT-EX truck, if you're a sleeper driver and you're in the bunk, you ain't got to have it on. Once you're on duty, you got to have that blue collared shirt on. All right. If you come in here to this facility, you're parking a truck, parking a trailer, you're doing any job function for JIT-EX, you're on duty. When you come in and you get your load assignment, you're on duty. You need to have your JIT-EX shirt on. Now, if you have a JIT-EX t-shirt, that can only be worn on Fridays. Other than that, collared shirt. Pants, I've seen a lot of this. I want everyone to look professional, okay? I see a lot of sportswear, jogging pants, and things like that. That is not professional. There's not one person, office, driver, shop, anyone that should be wearing jogging pants at this company. So do not wear jogging pants or workout pants or anything like that. You need to have on regular pants, blue jeans or khakis or, you know, some sort of work, you know, cotton material pants, you know, not anything that's like a jogging material, like a vinyl parachute type pant or anything like that. Do not, I seen someone in the break room the other day and he said he was heading out to his car to change. Do not walk into my facility not in dress code. So make sure you are dressed before you come into work. When you come in, you clock in, you get your load assignment, whether you're on mileage or not, and whether you're on the clock or not, when you come in and you present yourself to dispatch, you should be ready to work. You should not have to go back out to your car to get your lunch. You shouldn't have to change clothes. You know, all those things should be done. You don't come in here and say you're ready to work unless you're ready to work, okay? Shoes, they have to be closed-toed shoes, tennis shoes or boots. There are no Crocs, no sandals, nothing like that. All pants, they need to be presentable, not a bunch of tears and rips. You know, if there's two small fashionable tears in them like they have in the style, I'm not really going to argue with that. If you got a big tear where I can see skin through your pants, you don't need to wear those to work. You need to wear something else. You know, they need to be around your waist, not sagging down. They need to be presentable. If you're wearing shorts, they need to be, you know, down, you know, at least coming down to around your knees, nothing really short. You know, something professional. That's what I want. I want everyone to look professional when they show up to a customer. I don't want anyone to look secondhand. Built for teams. I want to make sure everyone is signed up for Built for Teams. That is the only way you can request time off. Okay. There were still 30 people that hadn't signed up for it. This thing's been out since September. I guess that those people aren't taking a day off, but you know, any unpaid time off, any vacation time has to be requested there. And if you want to leave early for work, it all has to be requested there. If it's not gone through there in your proper channels, it's not approved. Okay. So, just letting you know what our policy is. Any unpaid time off must be submitted at least 48 hours in advance to get approved, okay? I'm not saying that you cannot submit and get time approved within 48 hours, but if you want to make sure it happens, right, or it gets a fair shot at getting approved, it needs to be outside that 48-hour window. If it's inside that 48-hour window, once you submit it, you need to call and verbally talk to your supervisor and have him go in there and look at it and approve it and make sure it's okay. Not all time off is approved, and I've seen this so many times recently where someone calls in a dispatch and tells them they have to have a doctor's appointment at 3 o'clock today and it's 9. Well, that's not scheduling very well, and that's not being very responsible. You're putting your entire team, you're putting everyone else in a pickle because now you got to leave early and it wasn't pre-planned or pre-approved. So I don't, we're going to do the best we can for any off time. We've always done that. We've always tried to accommodate everybody when they need it. But don't be surprised if dispatch says, "Hey, no, you can't leave at 3 o'clock today because you didn't give me any sort of warning that you had to." So make sure you're doing that. Respect everybody. If you're doing a vacation request, it needs to be at least more than a week out. And just like unapproved time or unpaid time, it may not get approved. They're going to look at it. They're going to see how many people are off. They may propose a new week. Hey, you need to try to take the following week. I got 3 people on vacation that week or something like that. So make sure we're giving them plenty of time and make sure your stuff gets approved. The Go 365 silver status. We still have well over 100 people that have not hit silver status, but we are off to a good start. There are over 40 people that have hit it already, and there are a lot of people that are really close. I'm not sure that most people are aware, but there is a premium edition for those employees that don't hit silver status. I think it's by March 1st. By the end of this month, anybody that hadn't hit silver is going to get that addition to their insurance premium. So you need to be pushing for it. If you have not went and got a biometric scan, they are free. They take about 10 minutes. You need to get one. Any supervisor can give you the paperwork for it. It's at the Little Clinic, the Kroger clinics, or the Walgreens clinics. We have a form. You just take it, and it's free. It takes about 10 minutes. They'll do your weight, your height, your blood sugar, your cholesterol, and there's one other thing, but I can't think of it right now. It's like 2,000 points. I mean, it's most of the points you need to get going. You need to log into that app. You need to take that little simple health questionnaire. That's like almost 800 or 1,000 points. So there's a lot of things you can do just to get jumping and get started. If your spouse is on the insurance, they need to go get that biometric scan too. Y'all can go together, go to a Walgreens and knock it out. But once you hit silver status, you're going to get, $50 to $100 and bucks on their website that you can trade in for gift cards. So, I mean, it's kind of a no-brainer. But these are things we have to do. I'm trying to educate people on them. I'm going to be up in Nashville in 2 days after this meeting tomorrow, and I'm going to bring some paperwork up there. If anybody's interested, when you see this meeting, they should have some paperwork that you can look through. You can call down here and you can talk to Ashley, you can talk to Tracy. We're going to try to get Rhiannon and Nashville fairly familiar with all this, and Scott, Larry in Atlanta. So come ask them the questions, get involved, do this stuff, avoid the extra insurance penalties, and get a few dollars in return. So it's fairly simple. It just takes a little bit of effort, and there's reward at the end of it for your little bit of effort. All right. For the also on the Facebook page and the website, we started an employee spotlight. They're gonna randomly draw, people out of the company, every week, and, take their picture, ask them a few questions, put it on the internet, just kinda let everybody know who we're working with. We've grown so fast, we're up to a little over 250 employees now, and it's just a way to, let everybody in the company know, who we're working with and who everybody is. So, you know, join the Facebook page if you're on Facebook, and look at that, support it, like it, share it. But that'll be a new post every Monday. You might get chosen, and it also stays on our website for a week as well. For our employee recognition this week, I want to recognize Torrance Magsby and Richard Washington. Both of these guys went through and swept out a bunch of nasty trailers, and I'm sure this is something that a lot of people have done. I heard about these two. I wanted to acknowledge it. As truck drivers, sweeping out your trailer is part of the game, right? So if you got do not take a nasty trailer to a customer. If you got a nasty trailer, find a way to sweep it out. I've been running freight for a long time. I've always found ways to sweep out my trailer. It's all about want to. Richard actually keeps a broom that he bought that he keeps on his truck that, he sweeps out his own trailers, and that's fantastic. That's a good truck driver. That's one dedicated to the craft. And I think a lot of people ought to be the same way. Sweep out your trailers. Do not sweep them out on the parking lot. I've seen a lot of people, trash end up on the back line on the yard where people are throwing boxes and pallets out. I'm sure it's the same at the other terminals. If you're caught throwing trash out in the parking lot, there will be consequences. Most notably, you'll probably clean up trash on the weekend for about a month. I can tell you that. So I definitely want to give them two guys a shout out, because they jumped in there and they did what was right. They got the trailers cleaned out and dropped it to customer. I also want to give props to Robert Whitehead. He is our first driver to hit gold status on Go 365. We just talking about Go 365. So he's first one to hit gold status. So a lot of people are still pushing for silver. Robert Whitehead's already at gold. So Chelson De Silva over there in Nashville. There is not a lot of participation so far in Nashville right now on this Go 365. I think it's just probably from unfamiliarity, but Mr. De Silva is the only one that has a substantial amount of points in Nashville, so I wanted to point him out and give him some props. Also Rashad Aubrey in Atlanta. They are also not very active in Go 365, so I'm hoping Larry's going to push everyone down there, and we get everyone down there involved as well. But Rashad, I asked who was his most dependable driver. Not really the most dependable, because I think there's a lot of good people down there, but I wanted to give a shout out to someone in Atlanta. And Larry said his exact words were, Rashad Aubrey has been doing a great job. He's very dependable. He's always coming through when I need him. He's the kind of guy that if you're in a pinch and you have an extra load and you need it picked up, you can call him and he jumps right on it and gets it taken care of. So good job, Rashad, and thanks for helping out, and thanks for being a good driver and supporting the team. So that's really what counts. Virgil Trent, I had a personal involvement in this one. This is a brand new guy. He's been with us 2 or 3 weeks now. The other day, we were late on a pickup. Customer called me personally and was like, hey man, y'all are supposed to have been here at 3. It's 3:47, you're not here. The customer closes at 5. We hadn't even picked the freight up yet. I need you to get it picked up. I got with dispatch, and I told them to send 2 drivers straight over there, and we'd see who got there first. Mr. Trent was the man that got there first. He was nervous about making it there by 5 because we're in the suburb of Memphis that we're delivering to, Rossville, Tennessee. So by the time he got picked up, he had less than 50 minutes. He made it with 7 minutes to spare. He took a very efficient route. He stayed cool under pressure because they were pushing him the whole time. He was safe. He was consistent. He got there on time. When there was an issue with the paperwork that for a second there he thought. He called dispatch immediately, got his answer immediately, got out of there. I'm really proud of this guy. I don't even think I've met Virgil Trent yet since he's so new. And he probably didn't know that I was following that shipment every step of the way. And the guy did a phenomenal job. So I just wanted to give him a shout out. All these guys are going to get a $50 Walmart gift card. I'm going the people in the other terminal, I'll send them out through terminal mail, and I'll give the other ones to Jeff in there so you can see Jeff. That's everything for my February meeting. I want everyone to be safe. We're coming off the backside of winter. There might still be some weather that hits us in the next couple months, so make sure you're careful on that side. Everybody try to get involved with the Go 365. I'm going to be pushing that. I'm going to have people calling. Alex, I'm sure some of y'all have talked to Alex. He's doing a lot of stuff to help me and Jim out. So all my special projects I'm giving to him. He's been doing a lot with the ELD and the hours of service. So don't be nervous when he calls. It's probably because I asked him to. And I'm just trying to get some of these company programs out to everybody and make sure they're staying involved in them. So you got anything else?
Yeah, guys, I just want to re-emphasize again about taking your time and doing the job right the first time, paying attention to detail. I average 5 accidents a week every Wednesday in my safety meeting. I would love to get that down to 0, hopefully. I understand this is a transportation world, it's trucking business, but 5 accidents a week is just way too much. And a lot of them are due to the 130 accidents. We really have enough seasoned drivers here that number should not be as high as it is. So let's please work really hard and support each other. If you're efficient in the ELD and you have a driver that's hurting, give them a hand, volunteer service. Say, hey, what's your problem? Maybe I can help you out. Work with each other, support each other, help each other out in the bind. If they're trying to get a trailer dropped or backed into the dock, let's try to work as a team and get these numbers down. That's all I got.
Thank you, guys. We'll talk next month.